It was on Prime or you
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
Hey, everybody. You remember the movie Short Term 12 where it was like Mumblecore's adaptation of Sucker Punch for the DCEU and it starred a Marvel actor?
Ant-Man. No.
Brie Larson.
Oh.
Well, this is
Supergirl?
Captain Marvel. This is another one of those. I've never seen this movie, but I haven't seen it fully, but I have seen like clips about it and I've heard about it. There's a movie called Me Before You where someone described it as Fault in Our Stars meets 7 pounds.
No, 7 pounds was wicked.
The
That
Will
was,
Smith movie?
yeah, that was hard.
No, no, no. Me Before You. Have you seen that movie?
I think so. Remember, she met a guy in Europe and they went on a boat.
No. She was taking
Oh,
care.
was that Fallen Stars?
That might have been Fault in Our Stars.
Okay.
Me Before You was the movie where this girl has to like take care of this guy that's in a wheelchair who, because he's in a wheelchair, figures life isn't worth living and is just depressed,
Mm.
and then deletes himself, and at the end gives her like probably like 80 to $90,000,
Oh, okay. Hey.
where it's like, hey, make something of yourself.
Whoa.
That's the movie for over 2 hours.
Well, at least this one, they got it all done within the first, what, 30, 40, 50 minutes?
Well, it was about an hour and 40 or so, and yeah, this movie is. This is one of those movies where it's good, but I'm never gonna watch it again.
Yeah. It was heartwarming. It had funny parts. It had
But it's
sad parts.
yeah, it's mainly sad and depressing, and it kind of
Not when
reminded
they meet up, the two characters.
it kind of reminded me of a mix of Fanboys and 50-50.
Hmm.
I was
Okay.
expecting I was expecting Katy Perry to actually appear in this movie.
Make a Wish Foundation. Yeah.
So you oh, by the way, this is one of Kay's picks, so okay. Why don't you say
But I talked about the last movie.
no?
One of the last movies. Something in the summer.
No, I talked about the last movie, Space Station 76. So you're talking about this movie, The Fundamentals of Caring.
Okay. So, what's his name again?
Paul
Ant-Man.
Rudd.
Paul Rudd is taking a 6-week class to become a caregiver.
Aloha.
Right. Ask, look,
Or listen.
listen. Yeah. Ask, listen,
Observe?
aloha, ALO, observe H, help,
Help and A ask
ask
again.
again. Yeah, I think so. So anyway, he did a phone interview for this position, and in the meantime, his wife wants a divorce. It's only been what, 3 years or something,
I guess.
and he's not ready yet to get a divorce and leave that part of his life. So he becomes a caregiver, and then what happens is he goes after the first interview, he goes to meet who he's going to be taking care of, and he meets the mom.
This British
She's,
family
yeah.
in Washington?
No, they weren't in Washington.
Montana?
No, I think south of there, weren't they? No, because they were
They were
here,
talking
then they
about
were going there, then they
Montana.
were going there, then they were going
They were
there, and
talking
then they
about
were going home.
Montana and Colorado and Utah
Yeah,
and Nebraska.
yeah.
So I'm gonna guess
Denver.
so I'm gonna guess Washington or Oregon.
Okay. So, um, when he was born,
Oh, wait, there weren't a lot of Starbucks, so it can't be Seattle.
okay, when he was born and he found out 3 years old that he had this disability, His
Muscular dystrophy, I
no,
think.
it wasn't muscular. It was something else. Dystrophy.
It's something that affects
3,500
yeah.
males.
Let me look it up real quick. Keep talking.
Okay. So then he's getting tested by the kid. His
Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
Duchenne. Yeah.
That's what it says.
Okay. So the mom is asking him questions, and then she says, "What was the boy's name? Trevor? Is that what it said? I think it was Trevor."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna be right back.
then the mom says, "Well, Trevor, do you want to ask him any questions?" And he goes, "What number would you pick between 1 and 3,999 or whatever?" And he said, 3.
You're forgetting how he introduces himself.
What do you mean? He's a prankster.
Yeah, he loves. He's a prankster, but he's also like self-deprecating and self-loathing.
Yeah.
So
So he finally asks a final question, and he passed the test. He goes, "He's the one."
do you want to reveal what the
No,
question is?
we don't need to. No, I don't think so.
You're gonna want me to do that to you know who in the future?
Not
Or
necessarily.
close to it?
Not necessarily. So, anyway, so the next day he has to show up at a certain time, and then the mom starts going through the routine. He has to take this, and this pill. He goes to the park on Thursdays for a few hours. Don't make him cry. He watches TV. He has 2 apples and 1
he eats
sausage
waffles.
for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And he keeps watching TV where this lady keeps going around to all these giant things
Yeah, this
in
blonde
the,
actress.
in the United States. So he's marking him down on a map.
And he also wants to bang Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Or he said like, hey,
call Make-A-Wish Foundation.
see if Katy Perry will bang me while singing fireworks.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. But think of the publicity. They wouldn't want negative publicity.
Apparently, like the last 4 kids have wanted her to sing fireworks. And here's the thing: this movie was released in like 2015. She had other songs.
Yeah, the fireworks. So anyway, he was kind of a kid that felt sorry for himself, but kind of a kid that, you know, had a lot of brains. This did not affect his mind or his memory brain, nothing.
It affected his attitude.
So then gets this big idea
to do like a road trip after. Right. Oh, you're forgetting something.
His wife is trying to get him served with papers so
no,
he will sign the divorce.
You're forgetting
basis.
Something else.
What?
Father's letters, which translates to him making a really dark comment about Paul Rudd's.
But he said the comment without saying he knew what happened to Paul Rudd.
So he intentionally did it just to piss him off.
Right. And then there was a lot of FUs and, stuff like that going
Yeah, there's about 40 uses of the F word in this.
So then
that was on Parent Guide on IMDb.
Okay. So then anyway,
so they do a road trip.
No, he was talking to his mom, and his mom says to Ben, "Oh, I guess you guys really had a night last night." And he was thinking that it was the fight that they had. And he said, "Yeah, Trevor wants to go on this road trip. Can't let him go. I can't let him go." And then he says, "Well,
he hasn't let him be in more than an hour outside, away from his house. From his house,
driving away. Yeah.
Okay.
So then he's like, "I got it all figured out." He went and got the map, and he's like, "I put where all of the
got a wheelchair or
he borrowed from the
handicapped van, I guess is. I don't know what the politically correct term is. I hope I'm not trying to be offensive.
It's a handicapped van that it would hold all of his equipment and everything,
including like his breathing mask thing for sleeping.
Yep, at night.
I don't know what it's called. People don't attack me.
Oh, God, I should know it.
Breathing apparatus or something? Or
Well, it's not.
he has like sleep apnea, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Someone made a comment that he was, I think it was a female comic. She said she was dating this guy who has sleep apnea, and it's great because if he has an affair and he sleeps, he'll probably die.
Uh, CPAP. It's a CPAP machine.
So, oh, do you want to talk about what one of his wishes is besides seeing all these landmarks? Like if he could, like
Ben asks Trevor
if he had no,
if he woke up the next morning and didn't have this disability,
yeah,
what would he want to do?
he wants to pee standing up.
So they tried a couple times,
Hmm.
not successful. So anyway,
And he
they're
finds out that Slim Jims are the greatest foods ever created.
yeah, nobody had to create any other food after that. So
And
they always had Slim Jim
and they meet and they see this girl.
at the gas station. That
Yeah,
Dorothy,
Dorothy, aka Dot. She played by
Selena
Selena
goes,
Gomez. Where I
yeah,
was like, man, Selena Gomez in this movie? It
yeah,
said she
because
was.
yeah, you didn't really see her much. So then
So you
they
see,
see her at a gas station and she says, "Oh, cool shoes." And all he could say was mall,
no. Well,
mall,
he
mall.
tried to say mall.
But it came out like mole, how the
Yeah.
English would say mall, mole.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Is that a joke?
So then Ben is teasing him like, one word. That's all you could think of. That's all you could say. One
Oh,
word.
wait.
Mall, mall, mall,
Even a
mall,
shorter
mall.
word. Muh.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a kind of a running gag where I,
When they're at the park and he's like,
well, I don't
he's
know.
going back and forth on the scooter, the
I wasn't
wheelchair.
talking about that. I was talking
Oh,
about,
the lady next to him is staring at him
I
like,
wasn't,
what are you doing about
I
your
was
son?
talking about the choking
Oh,
running thing
yeah. Yeah.
where he'll pretend to be like choking and be like, ha 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 ha,
Yeah. Then he teased them.
gotcha.
Yeah. Ooh.
So anyway, Dot, I was thinking she was like a
You said a truck stop,
truck stop lady.
but she wasn't. She was headed to Denver to like
Yeah, her mom had died,
and her mom
and
said Denver is the place to go, start over, do everything. And
be,
she didn't
because
really like her father.
because when you're so high up, the
Air
air is
is clear.
and you can think better. I
Yeah.
guess.
But she was getting away from her father. She didn't have a good relationship with him. He had a lot of
Hmm.
problems on his own. And then
Did he?
yeah, she said at the end, he's got problems, but we're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
try to work them out. So,
So they pick her up
right,
at
they're at a
outside a
diner.
diner,
Right.
which that diner is made up. It's somewhere in Atlanta, I think.
Oh well. So what?
And I think there's pictures of the cast at that diner.
Cool.
So next time we go to over Georgia, what?
Maybe. I don't.
I've got like two
Atlanta
new
is a crazy place to drive around.
I've got like two new coasters.
Okay, maybe
So
we'll take a.
anyway,
Ooh.
oh,
So they
and
picked up.
so does
So
so
Dot
does
was out.
another
Wait a minute.
park in the area,
Dot was standing outside the diner. She was trying to hitch a ride.
like
So they're
smoking and
debating.
stuff.
They're debating whether to pick her up and go ahead and bring her along.
She wants or
And she said, "You
Trevor
guys better not be."
Trevor wants Paul Rudd gets Trevor to do it, but Trevor
He goes out
chickens
there. He
out.
turns right around, comes back in. But he tried.
So then Paul Rudd goes in and says like, "Hey, looks like you need some help. Are you into kids? Because if you are, I'm 21."
And you better not be a pervert. And he goes, "I'm not a pervert. All perverts say that."
Didn't he say like I'm no more of a pervert than you are?
I don't know. And then he notices this car is following him. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
Hmm.
So she wanted
He gets
coffee,
an
and
a-
then
he gets an attraction to her. Well, he always thought she was cute.
yeah,
Um,
so do a lot of guys.
what next? I'm trying to.
So they're on the road, and oh, before they pick up Dot, they went to see the largest heifer or
The
whatever,
largest bovine, or
bovine
I think that's
cow
what it
heifer.
said.
Yeah,
Which
did it?
that was underwhelming.
They didn't have a wheelchair ramp.
So
Stairs.
in the middle of
I'm
this,
surprised about that. Ben Paul. Paul Red didn't laugh his
so
socks off.
maybe that's for the blooper reel. So in this movie that is nothing but like depressing dark drama, you've got like the friend scene where they're trying to like get that.
Wheelchair up and down.
Yeah, but
The stairs.
it's like trying to get that
It
sofa.
turns. Oh my god.
Brad, I said I wrote that line for you. And he's a fan of the show, Friends.
Oh.
So after they pick up Selena Gomez, they then, as they're driving, they find a woman, I guess I should say,
Red or blue.
and
She's headed to.
8 months, 1 week pregnant, apparently.
Yeah, she was doing a couple weeks.
Yeah, and her husband was in
Nebraska?
Afghanistan. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nebraska.
She was headed to her mom's in Nebraska because her husband got called back. He was deployed for a second time.
Hmm. Uh, so then after that, then they at that point they is it at that point that they meet the father?
The father was in Salt Lake City or something.
Yeah, I think so. They meet the father, and the father. I don't know if it's the character or if it's the actor or if he was trying to do an accent. Well, they kind of sound a little
Smooth
weird.
talking car salesman.
You sound a little weird.
Would you just he
I wouldn't buy a car from that guy.
yeah, anyway. So he looks at the letters. Trevor brought the letters that supposedly his dad wrote. And his dad said, your mom wanted me to always write you, but sorry, kid, these are from your mom,
Yeah.
not from me. And then he's like, let me give you some money. Oh, I got about $160 here. Take it. He didn't want his money.
And
He just wanted his father to recognize him.
did we say anything about the father before, like how he left when he was 3
Right.
and found out
said
that he had the disability? Or
Yeah. That's when Trevor and his
I shouldn't
mom
say
moved
that.
back
Had
to the
the
UK.
condition.
Right. Trevor and his mom moved back to the UK. She was working for a bank in the UK, and then the
No, I
bank.
thought they met in the UK. They met in the UK, and then I think they moved to the US. Maybe.
Right. Got married, had the baby, 3 years of age, found out he had dystrophy. Then the mom and Trevor moved back to the UK, and she worked for a bank, and then the bank transferred her to the US. So they were both back in the US.
Okay. So
Put you to sleep?
Trevor considers ending the entire trip.
Yeah. Except for Selena.
Yeah, Selena Gomez
Dot.
says that. I want to see the big hole.
Yeah. I want to be at the bottom of that pit.
Which I had a theory that when they got to the pit, Trevor was gonna tell Paul Rudd,
Just toss me over.
yeah, throw me in it. It wouldn't have been any more depressing than half this movie's quote unquote humor. So
then
so Trevor kind of goes on a date with Selena Gomez.
Okay, that was before the pit.
I thought that was after.
No, she had the baby at the
Oh,
pit.
right. Yeah.
So before they went to the pit, and that car was following him again.
Hmm.
And the pregnant lady
Wait, how
went,
far do you want to get into this movie?
I don't know,
Well, it's your movie, you pick.
I guess the baby.
So at the pit where there's a lot of people that you know and you noticed, they look at the top, they're like thinking that it was gonna be dark and depressing, but it was kind of beautiful because I was thinking it was just gonna be like a big hole, but I don't know, I guess there must have been rain recently. So there's now
Like a lake.
there's water at the bottom, so it's like it's a very shallow swimming pool almost at this point.
I think it would be very deep. If it's the largest pit, it would be very deep.
But I wonder how. But they said they wanted to go to the bottom of it,
Well,
and they were
bottom
able
where
to.
they could be at the water's edge.
Hmm, okay.
And then she went into labor.
Yeah.
And then Ben was
And
like,
yeah, Paul Rudd had to.
he was thinking of his son and everything as he was trying to concentrate to deliver this baby.
Symbolism! What?
Fine. There you go. You got that out now? You're done?
When he was thinking about the. When he was thinking about the.
He didn't have his car in park.
No, 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 no. He was. He was helping this woman give birth as he was flashing back to his son's death, so symbolism.
Got it.
And you'll have to watch the rest to find out more, I guess.
Yeah. Find out, does he ever stand up and pee? Does he ever get strength in his legs? Does
That,
he ever make it home?
yeah.
Does Ben ever write a book? Yeah.
Does he ever make it to 30?
Yeah.
What's so special about the number 35? Oh, I might have already said that. Um,
I
I don't know what else.
it
Is
it
there any?
it had a lot of emotions in it. So
Yeah, but
for an adult,
it also had like a mean-spirited.
but you know what? He kind of had to. How many caregivers did he go through? His dad left him. His mom was very protective. He never really got out of the house except for going to the doctors or to the park. In the park, he had to be there between 1 and 4. He had all of these things that had to happen sequentially, whatever. Every day, same thing, blah, 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 except for
I
Thursday.
still
He went
wouldn't
to the park
fake my
after
death.
he was just running a gag.
Okay.
When he was coughing so much of the Slim Jim. Oh,
He did it before, I think.
and then guess what? They had a bag of Slim Jims, and when the baby was born, they didn't have cigars, so they were giving people that were there Slim Jims.
Hmm.
They're handing out here, here, in honor of the baby, here. And if it was a boy, she was calling it Elton or Elvis. No, Elton,
Yeah, Elton, yeah.
like Elton John or something.
Wasn't he named after like his father or something?
Yeah, or his grandfather or something. Anyway, I would recommend it.
If you like dramas that start off that have like a very depressing feel, but do kind of make you feel good, sure, I guess. But that's my opinion, you.
I think it was an adult film, so it had an adult message. I think all around, two people were depressed and they depended on each other and they made light of it. They got a friendship going, so
So you'd recommend it?
yeah.
Okay.
And it's free if you've got Prime or
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay?
Join us next time when we take a look at Godfrey Ho again.
Oh my God. No, it doesn't sync. Oh wow.